Alrighty guys, today we are making progress. I am doing so stellar on getting caught up on series that I am in the middle of, finishing series, getting up to date, continuing on. And today we're continuing that journey. We have 4 romance series that we are in the middle of. We have 3 that we're going to be getting 1 book further in, and 1 that we are going to be completing. And I'm kind of sad about the one that we're completing because we'll start there. It is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez has quickly become my favorite author, and this is the last book I have in her backlist. And so the idea that I am going to be finishing this book is devastating, but this is Life's Too Short. This is the 3rd book in the Friend Zone series, and I'm super excited to get this read. Then we have got Well Matched by Jen DeLuca. This is the 3rd book in the Well Met series. This is a small town Renaissance fair romance, and this is book 3. It's about April. Yes, I think this is about the girl from the main book. Her name's Emily. I think this is her sister's book. So, very excited about that. And then we've got book 2 in the Windy City series, which is The Right Move by Liz Tomforde. And this is a basketball romance, I believe. I've never read a basketball romance, so I'm excited about that. This is Ryan's story. He is the captain of the Devils, Chicago's NBA team. And then we have Indy, who we met, I believe, in book 1, possibly. I think she worked on the airplane. She was one of the flight attendants with, what's the girl in the first book's name? It's not Frankie. It's like a name that could be a guy's name. Xander and something. Anywho, excited about that, and then I just need to get this, I just need to do it. This is book 5, yeah, in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Gibbsy and Claire's story. Do I really care about Gibbsy and Claire? No. Do I really care about this series? No, but I feel like I've spent so much time and read so many pages of these books that, like, I have to continue. But there is some playlists, so let's see. Any songs that I know. Don't Blame Me by Taylor Swift, duh. My Life Would Suck Without You by Kelly Clarkson, banger. Bunch of other Taylor Swift. Today Was a Fairy Tale, love. Some Avril Lavigne, more Taylor Swift. Love Story, Fearless, Cardigan. Wildest Dreams. No One by Alicia Keys. That's pretty sad. 7 Things by Miley. Bubbly by Kobe Calais. Tons of great ones. Some Blink-182. You know, we got some bangers. But we're going to read 4 books in this video, so I'm not going to chat too much because otherwise we're going to be here for about 8,000 years. But these are the 4 books we are going to get read in this video. Making so much progress. And I'm so thrilled. Soon enough, there won't be books to even have continuing series. I'm in the middle of videos because we will be so caught up, and that'll be so stellar. Okay, guys. First book up is going to be Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, book 4 in the Well Met series, which I am Live Laugh loving. This book is about April, who is confirmed Emily from book 1's sister, and basically her baby daddy and her, like, don't have a relationship. He's not in his daughter Caitlin's life, and he basically sends her a card in the mail. She's graduating from high school, kind of extending an olive branch to wanting to be in her life, and April doesn't really know how to feel about that. She's not going to tell her daughter not to have a relationship with her dad, but she is kind of like annoyed about it because he hasn't been there for anything, hasn't helped with anything, has never paid child support. So she's kind of frustrated by the whole situation, and she's at the bar talking to one of her, Mitch, this guy who's like a big figure in the town, and they basically strike up a deal. She's gonna help him by being his fake girlfriend, and he's gonna help her fix up her house because she wants to move away now that her daughter's going to college. So I'm like 10% in, but let's get going, baby. Okay guys, we are going to be next going with Life is Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I'm, like I said, a little bit devastated to start this because it is my last Abby book, but I'm doing this, like, I'm in this thing, this like team competition, and Abby, if you read, like, Abby Jimenez is a spotlight author this week, and her books you get like extra points for. So I am gonna read this. Also, of all the books I have on hold currently, this one has the most people waiting for it, and I feel like an asshole if I don't get to it as soon as possible. So this is the third book in the Friend Zone series, and I don't really know, I can't quite remember. I'm sure once I read it I will know who Vanessa is. The first book, I don't remember the name of the character, but it's like a friends to lovers type situation, and the second book is about her best friend, and we will see how this one goes. But I am it's bittersweet. Like, I'm excited, but also it's the last Abby, and then I'm gonna simply have to start rereading. We're reading this book, baby, and we are about 1/4 of the way done. I'm working, but I am taking a little bit of a break because I'm starving. So I'm simply gonna make lunch. I'm gonna make my current hyperfixation is taco salad, so that is in fact what we will be preparing. I've got ground chicken. I don't really eat beef, so we do chicken tacos around these parts. I forgot to check the like expiration date before I popped this in the fridge, but lucky for me, it does not expire until like another week. So why is that? Why does ground meat last so long? It's kind of sketchy when you really think about it. Go ahead. I'm gonna get that going, and I'm gonna get out the rest of my salad stuff, and then I will be discussing my book with you guys. But I buy like a bag of tostadas, and I just cook those in the oven, make them really like warm and golden to add some crunchy crunch. Onion. Like some corn, which I just need to drain and rinse. Some sour cream, some Fiesta blend cheese. I already have my taco sauce out. And then obviously some lettuce. Whenever I make a salad, I like buying romaine hearts, and then like I just use one thing per salad. So that'll be that. Let me get out a big fat bowl. I like to use huge bowls as well. Where is my really big bowl? Is it in here? It's been in there for a while. Husband needs to get on the dishes because I've not had a salad in days. Use this Tupperware, honestly, which is kind of dramatic, but it's got a lid, so it's really satisfying to shake it in. So, the book. Basically, the main male character, his name. What are any of the characters' names? Why do I like this? Is anybody else like just dumb? Let me go look on Goodreads what the characters' names are, because I'm loving it. I'm like already like, okay, this is probably going to be 5 stars. Her sister's name's Annabelle. Her name's Vanessa. Yes, yes, yes. Adrian. Okay. So. In this book, we have our protagonist, our girly pop, Vanessa. And she has a very difficult relationship with her father and her sister. Her mom has passed away, and she has an additional sister who's also passed away. So you learn that she has these like pretty difficult relationships with these people in her family. Her sister battles addiction, and her dad, from the vibes I'm getting, like his wife and one of his daughters has passed away, and he's like never really been able to cope with it, is kind of like the vibes I'm getting from the situation. They died of ALS, and our main female character, Vanessa, does not date because she thinks she's dying. Apparently, I mean, I don't know anything about really ALS, but there's no way to diagnose it other than just ruling out all of the other options. Oh, I forgot my talking to today. So, she has ruled out carpal tunnel for like the weakness in her hands and her wrists, and so she's just kind of convinced that she's dying, so she does not date because it's not fair to people. She doesn't want to bring anybody into this if she's going to be dying. So, she and Adrian are neighbors, and they kind of meet because one night he and his girlfriend are trying to sleep and they can't because they just hear so much crying at Vanessa's apartment. So he gets up to go basically tell her to like shut the fuck up. Basically, not like shut the fuck up, but like, hey, like my bedroom wall is right there. Can you like maybe be in a different room? Like I have to work in the morning. Vanessa's also an influencer. She's a travel blogger. She does YouTube, which I don't have an issue with. I don't do YouTube for my job, so it's not something that like bothers me in books. I know like a lot of like real booktubers don't like reading about people in social media because it's their job, but not my job. And even if it was, I don't think I'd have all that much of an issue. This can not opening nicely. Have to use the real colander because that shit's peeing me out. But yeah, so he goes there and it's a baby that's crying, and he's like, where'd you get this baby? Like you weren't pregnant. And she basically tells him like, yeah, this is my sister's, she basically says, yeah, I'm fostering. And we basically find out that she's not really fostering this baby, but her addict sister, who has been in recovery, had this baby. Her name is Grace, and her sister has relapsed, unfortunately. And she dropped by the house with Grace for Vanessa to babysit her. Well, she ran some errands and then she never came back. Adrian is also a defense attorney, just like info on him. But basically, we're getting into kind of like a friends to lovers situation where she doesn't want to date anybody. She thinks she's dying, and he doesn't really have much of a life. The girl, this like happens in the first chapter, so I don't really classify this as a spoiler. Also, I have such a hard time with romances trying to decide what a spoiler is, because like they get together, like surely they're gonna end up together. It's a romance. So, but anywho, he was dating this girl, and he has just found out after they've been together for 8 months that she ends up calling things off because she's actually been married this whole time, and she's decided she doesn't want to leave her husband. So he's kind of down on his luck with women, and so they're just kind of at like a friend's point right now. Like he's helping her out with Grace, and she's providing him with friends that he so desperately needs. And that's just kind of where we're at with the story right now. I'm loving it. I love Abby Jimenez. Her books are all, most of her romances, all of her romances have like heavy topics in them, which I personally love. That is a selling point for me when it comes to a romance. I love a bit of sadness. I love a bit of desperation. I love a bit of hopelessness. You know? Maybe that says something about me, but I don't think so because Abby's quite a popular author. But I'm literally like, while reading this, so sad that I'm gonna not have any more Abby until her next book. Hopefully next year. There's a couple of like short stories slash novellas I haven't read, which I probably will just, you know, because why not? But yeah, it's feeling like a 5-star. I'm very biased because when it comes to Abby Jimenez, I do just kind of love her books. But, and I think 4 stars is the lowest I've ever rated her. But it is in fact feeling like a 5. I must confess my loneliness, you know what I'm saying? So, that's pretty much that. I don't know what I'm going to be listening to after this and if it's going to be for this video. No. So, that's that, but I'm going to go finish making my lunch. It is 5 stars. It's 5 stars. I don't really know what to tell you. Are we shocked? No. I don't know what it is that Abby puts into into her books, but they're like my drug, basically. Like, I want to start over the Part of Your World series immediately, and then start this series over and reread Say You'll Remember Me. I just want to reread all, 7 of her books, because I love her. She just has this way of combining super hard, difficult topics and mixing it with romance. And the way she does it is like, there is so much heaviness and sadness and difficult things in her books, but these are things that real people deal with. Like, this book had loss of a loved one, broken relationships with your family, addiction. We had some LGBTQ characters, like everything in here. Yes, there are a lot of hard and difficult topics, but they are things people are really dealing with. And as somebody who has dealt with a lot of tricky life things like death of a parent, death of a friend, addiction in the family, tough relationships with family, like, I feel like so many of the hard things she discusses in her books are things that I can relate so deeply to. And like, there's just something about there still being hope at the end of the book, that like things can work out in ways that seem reasonable. Oh my god, so good, so good. 5 stars. 5 stars. I think next in this video we are going to be reading The Right Move. It's not the next book I'm reading, but I think it's going to be the next book that I read. So, I love you, Abby. I love you. Okay, guys, we're starting The Right Move. Is this the next book that's like due next on Libby right now? No, but is it what I want to read? It's just what I'm in the mood for? Yes, so we're going for this. So in this book, we've got Indy, who is Stevie from book 1's friend that she met, that she like has from being a flight attendant. It's about her and, so Stevie's best friend and Stevie's brother. So this is best friend's brother trope, which I don't know that I've read a ton about, but basically Indy is kind of down on her luck. She recently walked in on her boyfriend of 6 years sleeping with somebody else in their bed. So naturally they broke up and he kind of kicked her out and she has nowhere to go. She doesn't have a ton of money and it's expensive to live in Chicago. And so we pick up that she has something wrong with her reproductive system, and though she's only 27, she needs to freeze her eggs because she has some sort of disease where they age really fast, and so this is like she has to freeze them now or she's not gonna be able to have children. And she avoided freezing them because she and this ex were going to be getting married, like they had talked about getting married and like XYZ, so she didn't freeze her eggs, and it's this whole thing. So Stevie asks her brother Ryan, since he's gone a lot of the time on the road because he's a professional NBA player and Indy is a flight attendant like Stevie, if Indy could possibly come live at his apartment for cheap because she needs to save money and she has nowhere to go. He reluctantly agrees, and where we're at right now is Ryan kind of needs a girlfriend to help his image with the NBA. He doesn't have a bad image, but his image is almost too good, that he's all basketball and doesn't give a shit about family, about like having a personal life. And his manager doesn't really like that he has become captain because he wants him to have family values, and it doesn't appear to the outside that he does. So he lies and says that Indy is his girlfriend and needs Indy to go to like this event with him. And we're in kind of like the beginning, but Indy also needs to go to a wedding for her friend where her ex is gonna be. And where I'm at right now is I think Ryan's gonna offer like in exchange to go to the wedding with her. And yeah, I'm loving it. I love sports romance. And the audiobook narrator said Tomforde, so I think it is Liz Tomforde. So that's where I'm at. I'm excited. It's a longer book. The audiobook's like 14 hours, but I've got all day. Let's get to it, baby. We're doing it. We're finishing this video finally. Taming 7. I feel like I've read the other books a month ago, but I've been waiting for the audio for this, and I have recently signed up for Everand. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I feel like it's definitely not talked about as much as Audible. I think Audible is like $18 a month for 1 credit, and with Audible you use your 1 credit and then you own that audiobook basically. It's on your account for forever. With Everand, you pay, the plan I got is $16.99, and you are essentially, from what I'm gathering, renting 3 books for the month. You get, with the $16.99 one, I think there's one that's for 1 unlock a month, it's $11.99, but for the $16.99 one, you basically unlock the book for the next month, you can listen to it, and then it relocks at the end of the month. So you don't own, you're not buying the audiobooks, you're just renting them. But for me personally, I'm not much of a rereader, so I don't really care. Like, the credits that I have on Audible, like the books that I've bought, I'm literally never going to listen to them again. So for me, for less money, getting to listen to 3 things, even if I don't own them at the end, I don't really care. Does that make sense? Like, I just am so unbothered by the fact that I just have to listen to them in the next month that I think it's a fantastic system for listening to books that are either not available on Libby or books that have a really long wait, like new releases or really popular titles. Because the wait on Taming 7 is still like 18 weeks or something. So I'd still be waiting for forever. But with Everand, I was able to unlock this. I'm going to listen to it probably between today and tomorrow, and then that'll be fine. You know what I mean? So for somebody who does not care about ever re-listening to it, I think that it's a really good system because, like, it's so cheap per book when you, like, break it down. You know what I mean? It's, like, less than $6 for the audio per book, and I think it's worth it personally, especially compared to Audible for only 1 credit. So we're gonna go start Taming 7. It's 1 o'clock. Actually don't know how long the audiobook is. We can go together and find out how long it is. I have a lot of work to do today. I'm feeling very anxious because it simply is my time of the month, and that always makes my anxiety like skyrocket. This is a 19-hour audiobook that I'm listening to at 3 times speed. It's gonna take 6.5 hours, so I don't think I'll get it done today, but I'll definitely get it done tomorrow. This is the shortest of the Boys of Tommen series, and this book is, I believe, about Claire and Gibbsy. I will be honest, the Boys of Tommen series is like a 4-star series for me. It's not God tier. I'm not obsessed with it, but I like it enough to continue, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to DNF the series, but it's not my personal end-all, be-all. I also don't really give a shit about Claire and Gibbsy, personally. So I'm not sure how much I'm gonna love this, but I will note the whole series has finally been taken out of the YA section at stores, which I think is for the best. I think that was one of, like, in my opinion, I mean, it still involves teenagers, but I think that the topics were a bit much to be housed next to things like Better Than the Movies, Dungeons and Drama, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Like, they're just very different vibes and intensities, so I think it's best suited for it to now be in the adult section. The pink hair is going. It's not cute, it looks bad, but here we are. I am halfway through Taming 7. I will say I'm excited that this kind of picks up after Redeeming 6, so it's not the exact same time period of the other 4 books, but it is not going to be a 5-star. It's just not. Basically, we're getting Claire and Gibbsy's story. We start at, like, the prologue, which, you know this kind of from Binding and Keeping 13, that Gibbsy's dad and sister died in a drowning. And so we basically start the book at the funeral for Gibbsy's father and sister. And it's really, really sad. And we're basically developing, like, why him and Claire are as close as they are. And now we're just kind of going through their relationship with how Gibbsy doesn't want to date her or get too close to her because he feels like he has all of these issues that he's never worked through with losing his sister and his dad, but Claire doesn't love anybody like she loves Gibbsy, so he's all like, she just desperately wants him, and it's like a whole situation. We're getting tons of Lizzie being a bitch, so I know everybody's like hates Lizzie, and then in like her book we find out why she's like such a bitch, but it's like fine. It's probably gonna be a 4, I would say. I do think that my like order of couples currently is Joey and Aoife, Claire and Gibbsy, then Johnny and Shannon. I just don't give a shit about Johnny and Shannon, which I feel like is very controversial vibes, but it is what it is. I fear I'm returning to you as a big fat liar because this made me sob and I gave it 5 stars. I am actually blown away and shocked. If you were like, Hannah, what are you gonna rate every book in this series? If you're correct, I'll give you $1 million. I would not have $1 million because I never in a million years thought a book in this series would get a 5-star from me. My biggest issue, like I said, with Saving and Redeeming was that it felt very repetitive from Binding and Keeping. So this taking place, like I said, after the end, mainly after the end of Redeeming 6, besides some flashback chapters, really helped it feel fresh. And I didn't think I gave a shit about Claire and Gibbsy, and now they're my whole life. They're my whole world. And I love them so very deeply, and just like hearing their backstory, specifically Gibbsy's backstory, literally I was sobbing. The other thing is this is the shortest book in the series, with it being only 450 pages as opposed to like 900 to 1,000 pages, which I know that releasing 10 is also extremely long. And so I think because this one was so much shorter, the pacing felt better to me. I feel like the other ones feel too long, in my opinion. Like, they don't feel like I would want to keep reading. Like, this ended at the perfect spot. When I was starting to get to the point where I was like, this has to be almost over, it was. Whereas with all of the other books in this series, I'm like, this has to be almost over, and I'm only at 60%, and I'm like, what do you mean? What more can we do here? So I just think that this one was perfect. 5 stars, and I loved it. And now we are officially done with this continuing series video. And I think we had some bangers. We had This Was a 5-star. I think I also read Caught Up, which was a 5-star. And I'm not even going to pretend like I know what other books I read in this, because I don't. But I know it was at least those 2. But it's just been a span of time. But that's everything, friends. I will see you next time. Bye!